Picture this. You wake up one morning and she's already changed. Not in her words, those still sound the same, but in her eyes. That quiet admiration, that subtle warmth she once had when she looked at you, it's gone. You can feel it before she even speaks. You can feel it in the silence, in the way she doesn't lean into your touch anymore, in the way her laughter no longer feels like it belongs to you. And deep down, you already know what's happening. You've lost her respect, and you'll soon lose her completely. But here's the truth, my friend. She didn't stop respecting you overnight. Respect is not something women lose all at once. It dies slowly, quietly, through 1,000 small moments where a man stops being who he promised to be. Every woman is biologically wired to test the strength of the man she's with, not out of cruelty, but out of instinct. Her brain, driven by dopamine and evolutionary programming, seeks safety, direction, and strength. When she senses that the man before her has surrendered his edge, when his confidence turns to hesitation, his leadership turns to dependency, something inside her shifts. She stops seeing him as the man she could trust and starts seeing him as the man she must endure. I said, let me tell you something that most men don't want to admit. Respect is not about dominance. It's not about control. It's about polarity, the magnetic charge between two people, where the masculine leads with grounded certainty and the feminine responds with trust. Lose that polarity, and you lose the relationship. Every single time, music swells softly. I remember a man who once told me, I did everything for her. I provided, I listened, I cared, and she still left. He didn't realize that doing everything for her isn't the same as being a man she can admire. You see, when you chase her approval, you stop being the man she chose. You become her emotional pet. You stop leading the dance, and no woman, no matter how gentle or loyal, can love a man she doesn't respect. Pause. Women don't fall in love with kindness alone. They fall in love with direction, with energy, with vision. When you start tiptoeing around her moods instead of standing firm in your truth, she feels it. When you apologize just to keep the peace instead of setting the standard, she feels it. When you stop pursuing your purpose just to make her comfortable, she feels it. Every neuron in her brain registers that shift, that drop in masculine polarity. And her biology, her psychology, tells her something. This man can no longer lead me. Soft ambient sound of rain. You see, her attraction is neurological, not logical. It's dopamine-driven, chemically conditioned by your presence. You first met, your unpredictability, your ambition, your silence. All of it stimulated her mind like a mystery. But as you began to play it safe, as you began to crave reassurance, her brain adapted. The dopamine faded. The mystery died. And when the mystery dies, so does the respect. Pause, I know this hurts to hear. But if you don't face it, you'll repeat it. Every woman at some point will unconsciously test the man she's with, not because she wants to destroy him, but because her mind needs to confirm that he's still the man she can trust. And if you fail those tests, if you respond with weakness instead of calm, with neediness instead of composure, she loses faith in you slowly, quietly, irreversibly. Music shifts darker. Introspective. Imagine this. A woman sitting in the passenger seat. Her man driving and she says, "You missed the turn." He reacts with irritation, over-explains, gets defensive. She doesn't argue. She just sits back, and something in her eyes changes. It's small, but it's there. Another brick in the wall of lost respect. Or the man who says, "I just want to make you happy," without realizing he's already lost himself in the process. That's not love. That's servitude. And women can smell servitude like blood in the water. They might smile. They might thank you. But deep down, they know you're no longer the man. You've become the follower. Pause. My brother, masculinity isn't about being loud. It's about being unshaken. It's about walking into a room and not needing validation to feel valuable. It's about holding your frame when everything around you tries to break it. The man who keeps his center, who doesn't chase, who doesn't beg, who doesn't flinch, commands respect without demanding it. That's the paradox women can't explain but always respond to. Music fades lower, softer tones. I've seen it too many times. A man loses his identity trying to become her idea of love. He forgets that love without respect is emotional slavery. You can buy her flowers, whisper promises, even build her a life. But if she doesn't feel your strength, it all turns to dust. She'll smile at you, but her heart will already be gone, as the modern world doesn't teach men this anymore. It teaches you to be agreeable, to avoid conflict, to suppress your masculine fire. But the moment you extinguish that fire, you lose the one thing that keeps her drawn to you, your edge. That subtle tension between comfort and danger, certainty and chaos. That's what she craves. That's what her DNA responds to. Not your perfection, but your presence. Music swells. Deeper emotional tone. There's a war happening inside every relationship, the battle between comfort and respect. Most men choose comfort, and that's why they lose. Respect requires discomfort. It requires standing your ground, saying no when you need to, walking away when you must. It requires losing her approval to gain her admiration. And when you finally understand that balance, that love isn't about keeping her happy, but about keeping your purpose, everything changes. Pause. One of my friends once said, "She told me I changed." I told her, "I finally remembered who I was." That's when she started respecting him again, because respect isn't built on what you give her. It's built on who you refuse to stop being. Soft ambient fade, introspective tone. So if you're sitting there wondering where it all went wrong, look in the mirror. Not with guilt, not with self-blame, but with clarity. Ask yourself, when did I stop leading? When did I start apologizing for being me? The mirror never lies. It will show you the truth, the tired eyes of a man who gave too much, bent too far, and lost himself in the process. But it will also show you something else, the man you could become again. Music shifts. Hopeful but restrained, rebuild your center. Reclaim your boundaries. Stop chasing what you've already lost and start becoming what she could never forget. Because once a man reclaims his edge, truly, quietly, unshakably, the world starts to respect him again. And even if she never comes back, you will never lose yourself again. Pause, soft ending tone. This is Mind Dominion.